On YouTube, it's your boy Rich Nice. Today we're back on Sarge, our 392. We're going to install our winch that we pulled off our old JK and put it on here. So in order to do that, you have to take these 5 bolts out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this plate will come out, and then it just has these push pins on this back plate right here and here. And then there's 8 bolts. There's 4 bolts on this side, 4 bolts on this side. Excuse me, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on this side. You unplug your fog lights and that whole front bumper will come off. And then we have a winch plate that we got to install before we can put the bumper back on. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
So the tools you're going to need is a T47 star bit. You're going to need a 13 millimeter and an 18 millimeter. The skid plate that's underneath here, these bolts right here are 13 millimeter, and there's 7 of them. And then you'll need the 18 millimeter to pull the bolts off that's behind the bumper. These are the bolts I was talking about. These are 18 millimeter. So you have 2 here, you have 2 on this side, you have 2 on the outside over here, and then you have 2 on the outside over here, and that makes for 8. We also got to get this skid plate off, and those 7 bolts are 13 millimeter. All right, last thing you need to do before we take our bumper off is disconnect our fog lights with this plug right here. You just push in on here and this piece will pop out just like that, and then your bumper is ready to come off. We hope. Just like that, front bumper is off. So we will need to remove this plate right here, and it just is held in with these little clips. basically just push them down and it pops out. So I will go get the winch plate and we'll see how to install that next. So this is our winch plate from Weston. You have your winch plate itself. You have the piece that goes on the front of the bumper that your rope or your cable goes through, and then you have your side pieces right here, along with some hardware and instructions. So let's get this started and let's get this thing going. So what we've done is we installed these brackets right here. We used the factory hardware to put these on both sides, and then the winch itself, these holes right here, just located right there, will go on these top holes up here, and that's where to hold the winch in. And then these 4 holes up here on the front should plug into these 4 holes right here on the bumper. So let me get that installed and we'll be back. All right, YouTube, again, we put these brackets on both sides. We got our actual winch plate on, and it's put in with these 2 10mm bolts, nuts, and lock washers here on both sides. The holes up front, they all line up here, 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 here. So when our bumper goes back on, it should slide right in. So next thing we need to do is grab our winch, put it on here so we can mount it, and then we'll be able to put our bumper back on. So let me go grab the winch. Again, this front plate, you just push these down, tabs, and this whole thing will pop off. Just like that. Then we'll put our plate on. So this is our plate. It just goes on the front. So let me see if I can roll this bumper over. And this plate goes just like this. Then you have your 4 bolts here, and then your 2 bolts for fair lead or whatever it's called, that our rope and our hook goes through. So I'll finish bolting this up and we'll be back. All right, we got our bumper together. So now we can put our bumper back on and everything will be in reverse order. Go ahead and grab our bumper. All right, so now we got our bumper back on. Let's gotta put some bolts in it to hold it in place, and we'll be on to the next step. All right, YouTube, we got the bumper on, got our red plate in, we got our winch in, We did have to trim it a couple places here and a couple places here, just so it would fit in there, with the bumper bolted back on. So we got all our wires run, everything is hooked up, it's good to go. So the wife loves it. As always, thank you for subscribing. Continue to hit the like button, continue to hit that bell so you get all the notifications, because next time we'll be back on the C10 project as usual, and we'll get that thing going. So as always, thanks again for watching. Peace.